I have a Lennox model 13ACD-048-230-02 air conditioner. It has quick cooling. We have replaced the capacitor and the fan motor, and it works great for about 20 minutes, then the air coming out of the unit gets very hot and everything shuts down. Have cleaned the coils. What else could be causing this?
Did you double-check the thermostat settings? And what about the filters?
Settings are the same as before we had a problem. Filter was changed about 2 weeks ago.
Do you plan on doing the work yourself?
If we can, funds are really tight for me. Retired.
Anything else we should know to help you best?
I can't think of anything else. Just really frustrating when we replace stuff and then worked great. Then just suddenly gets hot and shuts down.
Okay. Got it. I'm sending you to a secure page on JustAnswer so you can place the $5 fully refundable deposit now. While you're filling out that form, I'll tell the HVAC technician about your situation and then connect you to.
Hi, I'm Brian and I'm here to help. Please allow me a moment to locate the service manual for your unit. In the meantime, did the unit run fine up until the motor and capacitor failed? Also, did you replace the motor with an OEM exact replacement or was it an aftermarket replacement motor? Thanks, Brian.
It was working fine until Saturday. It is a replacement motor. The original was an Emerson motor, the new one is from US Motors. Not sure the old motor was even bad. When the fan stopped, just thought the motor had given out, but the new one did the same thing. Still have the old one though.
Okay, so the new motor seems to be working fine but you have the same symptoms as before it was replaced. Does the smaller of the two copper lines coming into the unit get too hot to touch in the short time it does run?
The wires are hot, the motor is really hot and the air coming out of the whole unit is hot.
Okay, well your unit has a high refrigerant pressure cutout switch so that's why your unit is stopping. If the fan is fine and rotating the right direction, the coil may still be dirty even though you cleaned it. You can test this theory by using your garden hose and with your nozzle on wide spray pattern spray the outside of the coil as the unit runs. If the unit stays running then your condenser coil is still dirty and may need the help of a chemical cleaner to clean it. Simple green works pretty good. If the unit still trips out with water running over the coil then you have a problem somewhere in the refrigerant system and that requires the use of a manifold gauge set and thermometer to diagnose. If that's the case you may have a plugged metering device or filter dryer in the refrigerant system. Let's hope it's just the coil that needs a more thorough cleaning though. Brian.
Okay, I will try cleaning it again.
Another thought I have is after reading your last post again, you say the wires are hot. Which wires are you referring to? If you have a loose high voltage connection causing low voltage, your compressor and fan motor can cut out on their thermal overload protectors as a result. That could possibly be the issue too. The wire should not really get hot if it's just a dirty condenser coil. You may need to kill power to the unit at the main breaker panel AC unit breaker and tighten all electrical connections. A loose connection can be anywhere from the breaker in the panel or in the safety disconnect switch on the wall by your unit or in the unit itself. All wiring should be checked for tightness.
Okay, we have done a very thorough cleaning and checked all the wiring. Still runs for about 15 minutes, then the compressor and fan motor get really hot and shuts off. So is this high refrigerant pressure cutout switch probably the problem? Does it look like a thermostat? And if that is the problem, is it something we can fix ourselves, or is our only solution to call a HVAC company? The part I am calling a thermostat is on the small copper line just before it goes into the furnace unit. Should it be hot? And should the larger line be cold?
No, chances are the high pressure switch is fine and doing its job. I think we are on separate pages here. From the manual for your unit, the high pressure switch is a manual reset device. There should be a little red button next to where the copper lines enter the outdoor unit. Since it's a manual reset, unless you actually have to push that little red button to reset it, that's not the issue. Let's try a little slower approach and try to get at the root of what's going on. At the outdoor unit, there are two copper lines attached to it. One is a small 1/3 of an inch in diameter and the other is larger, probably 3/4 of an inch in diameter, and should have rubber insulation covering it. When you get the unit to run for its 15 minutes or so, after it runs for at least 5 minutes, tell me what each of the two copper lines feels like at the outdoor unit. The small one should be a little warmer than the outdoor air temperature, and the larger one, pull the insulation back to feel it, should be the temperature of a soda can you just pulled out of the refrigerator. Let me know what those lines feel like and we'll go from here.
Well, would love to try this, but this morning I can't get it to come on at all. Have checked the breaker and fuse, but nothing. Looks like I will be calling someone to come look at it.
Did you find the little red reset button for the high pressure switch? It should be very near where the copper lines come into the unit. It may have tripped, and since it's a manual reset, the unit won't run until physically reset after a trip. Since both the fan motor and compressor are cutting off, my best educated guess as to what's going on is, the condenser coil is impacted with particulate internally on the air side. The condenser coil is corroded, causing high pressures/temperatures. There is a refrigerant side issue with a high pressure side restriction somewhere, clogged filter/dryer, plugged metering device, i.e. expansion valve or metering orifice at the indoor coil. There is an unknown and unseen electrical issue causing low voltage. It could be as simple as bad points on the contactor. To properly diagnose these issues, it really requires a manifold gauge set, a multimeter with capacitance testing function, an amperage clamp meter, and a quality temperature meter. I'm sorry to say that cleaning the condenser coil and tightening the electrical connections is probably the limit of self-repairs for this problem. I wish I could help further, and I hope it's a simple fix for you. Best regards, Brian.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/YTHI.